on the Telegram chat, as well as the slides. So who are we? Basically, we're 3 students. The 3 of us are at TPFL. My name is Omar. I'm a microengineering student at TPFL, as I said. I'm in my 3rd year of bachelor's. And this year I was chosen among 2 other students also at TPFL to become the leads for this club. And each year the leads will be changed, and Google is the authority that actually decides who becomes the lead to each year. And Arnie, would you present yourself? You're myself.
Hey, thanks. I'm Anurad Arnie, and I'm in a 3rd year of Bachelor's of Computer Science at EPFL. So I've been studying here for the whole bachelor's degree, and yeah, I was also selected by Google for this year to run the GDSC of Lausanne. So yeah, nice to meet everyone, and thanks for joining.
Yep. And so the 3rd lead with us is called Ahmed Aizo. He is a student. He's a master's student in computer science at EPFL as well. However, unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us today. So hopefully he's going to be joining us in the next sessions. But this way you guys already know who are the leads of the club this year and know who we are. So those are actually our wishes of how we want to actually operate the club during this chapter. So the first thing we want from you guys is to be present, to be engaged, to talk, actually to like close everything that distracts you when we're like doing meetings or something, and like try to turn on your cameras if you're comfortable with that. We also would like to see you guys like curious. We would love if you guys have questions, you can ask them. Just unmute yourselves if you have questions. The only main policy we have at the club is the zero tolerance respect policy. So it's we do not tolerate any sort of harassment of any kind. Our main goal here is to make sure that everybody has an amazing time and that everybody shares his thoughts and expertise comfortably. That's the main big rule here. And finally, we would love you guys to like actually participate and stay active during our sessions, if this is possible. Like, so today's agenda. Firstly, we're gonna get to know each other's better, and then we're gonna start by introducing what is a GDSC, what is the vision of a GDSC, what do we do, what our vision for the next chapter this year, what accomplishments do we want to have, what do we have prepared already, and how things work inside the club. Finally, we're going to talk about the recruitment and have a great picture together.
All right, I'm going to take over now. So just to kind of get to know each other, yeah, feel free to turn on your cameras if you guys are comfortable. We're just going to do a quick, just some funny questions, I guess. And you can just respond in the chat what you prefer, right? So yeah, first question would be, would you prefer to go to the beach or to the mountains? Like we're kind of close in Lausanne. We're at the lake, but you know we also have the mountains. So yeah, feel free to message on the chat what you guys prefer. Mountains, beach, both. Okay. Sorry to hear, Pablo. Yeah, I would. I would say a lot of people are voting for mountains. Some people say both. Yeah, nice. Next question is a bit controversial, I guess. Dark mode or light mode? I would say that there's only one answer. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Well, good to see we're all on the same page then. And yeah, last question. If you have to pick one of these fruits that you have to throw away, which one would you choose? Just permanently destroyed. Nice. All right, 2 for banana so far. No Hawaiian pizza anymore, I guess. All right, perfect. Yeah. So banana and pineapple. All right. Everyone likes watermelons and apples, turns out. So that's good. Thanks for answering the questions. Now we're gonna move on to like the club part. So firstly, I think a lot of people have this question: is what is actually a Google Developer Student Club? So Google Developer Student Club, or it also stands for GDSC. It's a program run by Google, and they essentially select students each year to run the GDSC. In this case, as Omar said, myself, Omar, and Ahmed were chosen to run the first GDSC in Lausanne. And the whole idea behind it is that it's mainly a community for students, and it's a place where you can sort of learn from each other. You can learn different technologies. You can meet new people and work together on projects. And the main goal of it is that you can sort of bridge the gap between theory and practice. So what does that mean is that on university campuses, mainly you're sort of exposed to theory, and what we learn, especially at EPFL, is a lot of theory, but it's really hard to get that sort of practical experience developing projects and working together with people outside of your section or classes. And so that sort of ties in well with our goal. So our goal actually is, especially for like the campus at EPFL, for instance, it's really to create an environment for students to meet each other, to learn from each other, share knowledge, and collaborate on some projects together. And the sort of end goal would be that you can create a really huge positive impact on the local community or even the global community, right? So, for instance, we could have people working on like an application which tracks how much queue there is at the food trucks. You know, that would be a huge like that's a development project you could work on with people from any year or any section, and it would have a huge impact locally on EPFL because I know, for instance, I definitely would be using it, right? So yeah, that's sort of like the sort of gist of the of our goal, right? And at the same time, we'll be organizing really big tech talks and workshops, which are hosted by many different companies and startups and EPFL people as well, right? And that sort of the goal of that is that you can sort of be exposed to sort of the industry and people with more experience and professionals, and hopefully you get to sort of discover your tech passions by doing that, and just get more in-depth knowledge in each of the technology. So that's sort of the 2 main goals for our year. Getting a chance to meet other students and build projects together, and the other one would be to sort of discover more about the industry and what's in the latest research. So yeah, any questions so far before I move on? Actually, you can just message in the chat. Okay, so far so good, I guess. All right. So yeah, so how are we going to be achieving these goals? We'll be organizing events throughout the year. For the Google Developer Student Club of Lausanne, we're going to try to focus on really flagship events, big events where we have some really some big experts in the fields. So we'll be organizing, for instance, workshops where you can sort of learn about different technologies, how you can develop with these technologies. You know, be it React or Python or whatever, right? And then at the same time, we'll also be organizing tech talks. We'll have big speakers. We're hoping to get sort of CEOs, founders of companies such as Logitech. I don't know about Google, but that could also be cool, right? But yeah, that's sort of what we have in mind. We'll also be organizing projects. So projects is the idea behind that is that you can come up with an idea, or we'll give you an idea, and you can sort of develop that project with other people in the GDSC community. And so it's an opportunity for you to work together with people you normally wouldn't meet and normally wouldn't work with, and everyone has sort of something to bring to the table. And the main thing that we'll be doing this year is called the Google Solution Challenge. It's an annual challenge that's exclusive to GDSCs, Google Developer Student Clubs. So you need to have a GDSC member to participate in it. And the idea behind it is that you have to develop a project that solves one of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, right? This is a competition that starts in February, and then it goes up until the end of the year. And, you know, the winners get to go to California, right? And every year you get at least one team from the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, Switzerland, that gets to go there. So especially since we're an EPFL, you know, we have some high expectations. But you'll find out more about this as we progress throughout the year, and we'll explain more about it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about it now, we can also answer about the Google Solution Challenge or anything about what we have planned. Okay. All right. Okay, so no questions, so that's fine. You can always just message in case there's any questions. All right, moving on to the recruitments. So just to clarify, in the GDSC of Lausanne, you'll have core team members, and then you'll just have members of the community. So members of the community, they don't have to be involved in any of the organizations. They're basically just attendees. They can attend any of the workshops, any of the events, organize projects, develop projects and teams. And so the core team, on the other hand, would be actively involved in the committee, and their role will be really organizing these workshops, organizing these events, and yeah. So these are the available roles for the core team. So the people part of the GDSC Lausanne committee, right? So there's three main sections that we'll have in our committee. The first one would be marketing. That's going to be actually one of the biggest tasks for our GDSC. We really need to, you know, we can organize any sort of event, any sort of workshop, but if we don't have the marketing supporting us behind it, then we won't get that many people who can benefit from all the amazing work we put in to organize these events, right? So for the marketing side, we'll have the social media managers. We need so they'll basically be taking photos, writing up posts, and posting on social medias. You also need to sort of strategize throughout the year, the sort of roadmap for the social media posts, how many posts per week, what sort of posts, and you'll also need to sort of analyze how well posts do, right? Maybe some posts don't do as good, and you can try optimize it so that we get more views, we get more likes, we get more followers, right? And then, so the next role in marketing that you could apply for is the creative strategist. This is like, yeah, this is one of the really cool projects. And basically, what you would be working on is for the social media, you'll be creating cool projects. You can create a TikTok account, you can create Instagram Reels, maybe, you know, go up randomly to students on campus and just ask them some tech questions, or and we can post that as a reel, for instance, right? So you sort of have the freedom to do whatever you want, and you know, I think it's one of the coolest roles to do. And then finally, we'll have graphic designs as well. They'll be creating the thumbnails, creating any sort of banners or posters that we'll need for the GDSC Lausanne. Right. So that's the marketing. There's a lot of focus on the marketing there. Then we'll have two other sections, which is logistics and technical. So for logistics, we'll have event managers and then the PR and sponsoring. So the event managers will be in charge of organizing events, booking rooms, contacting speakers, and making sure they're well hosted and they have somewhere to stay. The PR and sponsoring, on the other hand, they'll be contacting sponsors, getting us places to host our events, for instance, or getting us catering deals, or, you know, that's all sorts of things. You can also contact companies so that you can get special tools or products that we can show at the workshops, for instance. And then, yeah, finally, the last role is technical. The technical core team members, they'll basically be there to check the workshop material, review the material, and be there to sort of assist students when we have project sessions, or even for the Google Solution Challenge. So we're sort of expecting that they have more in-depth knowledge and experience so that they can help other students. They'll also research different topics and get a chance to research the speakers at our events or workshops, so that we have someone also who's from the student side who's experienced with the technologies. So yeah, those are all the roles. If you have any questions, you can ask. I see that Lars has a question. Do we actually have a budget for speakers to visit in person then? Yeah, so for the budget, right now we don't really have any budget, but we can get about, I think, 70 euros per event that we organize with Google. So we definitely will be looking towards finding ways to get sponsors who can host the speakers as well. But yeah, that's something that we need to decide as a committee and plan that out later on. What is the role of the review materials? responsible. All right. So sorry. So marketing and logistics, all of those icons are different roles. And then for the technical, that's actually just one whole technical, like that's a whole person that does all of that. So the technical core team members will be reviewing materials, assisting students, and researching. So by review material, that means that we'll have workshops and we'll have events, for instance, and they get to just have a chance to get well versed with the sort of technology or the speaker, and make sure that like all the material makes sense. Everything that's being presented makes sense and it's easy to follow. All right. Yeah, thanks for the questions. If anyone has any further questions, you can also ask. And afterwards, even after the event, you can always message us on the Telegram chat or any of us basically. So
yeah. So can I just add on your last answer, Arnie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So all year long, we're going to have projects organized that students should work on other than the solution challenge in parallel. Okay. And so in order to assist students to accomplish like these projects, we don't expect everybody to have experience in everything. And so some of the events or workshops will need to be oriented towards this part. So the technical team would be responsible of actually knowing what these subjects are. So, and what kind of workshops do we need? Who are the best speakers? Like the organization of the material that we're going to give all year long, like there should be a department responsible of that, and that everything makes sense, as Arnie said.
Yeah. So for instance, if we have like a workshop on machine learning, maybe someone who's really really interested in machine learning and has some experience would be great to help other students during the workshops, for instance, right? That's kind of what we had in mind for the technical core team members. Yeah, I think that should be everything then. Yeah, if you have questions, feel free to ask. So yeah, now is like the sort of penultimate slide. It's why should you join the GDSC committee? So I think the main thing about joining the GDSC committee is, since it's the very first Google Developer Student Club in Lausanne, you would really get to benefit from all the challenges we'll certainly be facing in organizing and sort of get ourselves up and running. It's kind of like a startup, we really have to scale up fast and organize all these events and do all the planning. And that'll be the foundation for next year and the years to come, right? So there's so much you can learn just by participating in us with us this year. Besides that, we'll be organizing events, so you'll get event organization skills. You're also in a great position to sort of meet all these different people. You'll meet all the students, you'll meet all the speakers, all the people from Google, all the other sponsors as well. So it's a really great way to sort of expand your network. And of course, you'll be working alongside us and other students who, hardworking and ambitious students. So it's great. Yeah, so that's kind of why you should join the GDSC committee if you're interested in participating in organizing these events. Otherwise, you can also just be a normal member and attend all our events and workshops, and nevertheless meet all these people and gain skill. So yeah, yeah, that's everything for the info session.